Hey everybody, Adam here with Hometown Acres. Welcome back. We are in the wood shop here today because it is 93 degrees outside, entirely too hot to be doing firewood or milling lumber. And I've got a pretty special laser engraving project I want to show you guys today. Now, if you remember a few months ago, we were pretty hot and heavy into laser engraving. We had a heck of a March and April with the laser engraving business, and we've still been doing pretty well, but it has slowed down. We are all caught back up now and taking new orders. But I didn't want the laser engraving thing to take over the YouTube channel. I didn't want to post video after video with just laser engraving because that can get kind of boring. I do think we've made some really cool signs, but that being said, what I want to do with the laser engraving with the channel going forward is just save the really special, unique signs to do videos on, and all of the anniversary, business, happy birthday, Father's Day, Mother's Day signs, all that kind of stuff. We'll just do off camera and ship them out like we normally would. But today I've got one that's pretty unique and worth sharing. Let me tell you the story. So the majority of the business that we get for this laser engraving side hustle that we've created here is from the YouTube channel, and this is no exception. This gentleman's name is Brent, and he says, "Hello Adam, I'm a longtime channel watcher from eastern side of Pennsylvania. I'm interested in purchasing one of your laser engraved antler mounts. A bit of history and context. I am 30 years old and hunted with my dad my whole life. This past rifle season, I finally got my first buck being a 6-pointer. The exciting part was that my father also got a 6-pointer at the exact same time. We were 70 or so yards apart, and the two 6-pointers were walking together in front of us. Without knowing, we both shot simultaneously, and neither of us realized the other had even shot. Then when we realized we both shot, we assumed it was the same deer. When we realized and saw that it was indeed two different 6-pointers walking together, we were in disbelief. Instead of buying an over-the-counter mount to remember the story, I thought a 3.5 by 1.5 foot or so custom one from you with the location and date would be the best keepsake. Could you let me know if this is a project you'd be interested in?" And this is absolutely the kind of projects that I'm interested in, and these are the ones that I want to show on the channel. Something that has a really unique story behind it. I get to feel like I'm kind of a part of it, and it motivates me to want to design something really, really cool for these guys to help commemorate the hunt even more. And I think I've done a pretty good job here. Let me show you the designs that we've come up with. All right, so here's the piece of wood we're going to be using. It's a beautiful 36-inch long piece of cherry by 14 inches tall. Where this starts to get tricky though is Brent is about 6 hours away from me. So to get all of the spacing right, it didn't make sense to ship the antlers here for me to have them. All of the other deer mounts or European mounts that I've done in the past, I have had the antlers on hand. So what I had Brent do was take a big piece of cardboard. I gave him the dimensions of the piece of wood I was going to use and had him lay them out and give me measurements so that I could then transpose all of that onto the piece of wood I'm going to be engraving. So what he gave me was, we're going to break the board into 3 1-foot sections. One big engraving is going to go here in the center. One set of antlers is going to go here. One set of antlers is going to go here. And then we're going to have 2 smaller engravings underneath each one. The 2 engravings that are going to go underneath each of the antlers is going to be their name, a picture of the rifle that they shot, as well as a text description of the rifle and the ammunition that was used under both antlers. In the center, we are going to have a map of the hunt. Now, this is where this gets really custom. I had to have probably a half-hour, 45-minute Zoom call with Brent where he could actually show me on Google Earth exactly where his hunt was, show me where he shot the deer, and give me all kinds of specific details that you can see here in this Photoshop drawing that I put together. That is going to be the map that's going to go here in the center. And with the power of Photoshop, I can actually take this blank slate right here and get a pretty good idea of what it's going to look like when it's done. Now, normally a piece of wood this large, 36 inches wide, would not fit inside an enclosed laser, but because this X-Tool S1 has the riser base, you can just pop this door open, pop open the door on the back side, and now you can actually feed your boards in lengthwise, flip your engraving from portrait to landscape, and feed this in all the way through to the back side. So now that we've got the piece of wood inside the engraver, we want to make sure that we are perfectly parallel and square, and having the red laser display there really helps you line things up. You can actually use that to make sure that you're square and use the gantry to line everything up. So as long as I know that this line stays on the line that I've drawn here, I know we're good. So if I bring that all the way down, that red X stays on there the whole time. So I know we are not cockeyed. Our engraving is going to be straight on the board there. And then we need to start marking our engraving area. I really like this twin point touch system on the X-Tool S1. So right there, I don't like engraving on the sapwood. For whatever reason, it does not come out as clear. It gets kind of blurry and overburnt. The heartwood burns really, really clear on cherry. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark that upper corner, and then we'll come down here and mark this corner. And now within the software, I know exactly within the laser engraving capacity of the engraver where my engraving area is, and I can center my engraving exactly where I want it. The placement on this is absolutely perfect. Okay, nothing left to do but hit the go button. All right, so after a couple coats of polyurethane, this sign is now complete. However, I don't feel like you really get the full effect just looking at it without antlers on it. So I had a buddy of mine who has a couple 6-point European mountain deer stop over and drop them off so I could actually place them on here and give you an idea of what this is gonna look like when Brent gets it home and hangs it on his wall. Something about like that. I think that looks pretty cool. I think he's gonna like this a lot. So this is probably one of the coolest laser engraving projects we have done to date just because it is a double deer mount and the level of detail we're able to achieve on that X-Tool S1 is pretty remarkable. You know, you can still see some shading and stuff on these rifles. It almost looks like a color photo. That's how well the shading does on it. And the map came out great. We did end up adding the coordinates of the hunt as well as the date. And then, you know, here's Brent's father's rifle that he was using. But the level of detail you can get in these drawings, and I'm going to explain this hunt the best I can from, you know, secondhand hearing from what Brent told me. But basically, you know, there was a wood line that came up like this, butted out like that, and then came back down. And they were both just on either side of the wood line. And these two 6-point bucks came walking down through. So I've got little hoof tracks in there to mark where the deer came from this field on the other side of this little dirt road. And you can see I even have the yardage that they shot at. So I've got 25 yards there is where Brent shot from. 70 yards there is where his dad shot from. They both shot, like Brent said, at exactly 8:21. I can't remember if he said Brent's deer dropped immediately or his father's deer dropped, but they found the first one literally 4 minutes later. And then when they got there and they found the one, but they saw another blood trail going off this way, they're like, how is there the deer's here? Where is this going? And they found out that they followed that blood trail and there was a second deer, and that's when they knew that they had both shot this two separate deer at exactly the same time. And they found that one, you know, about a half an hour later. So Very cool story. I'm very happy to be a part of it and been able to put together something like this for them. I hope they love it for years to come. I don't know, guys. You tell me. What do you think? I think this turned out pretty cool. If you are a trophy hunter, I think I would take this over a regular taxidermied shoulder mount any day of the week. You've just got so much more information, so much more storytelling potential here. You know, you've got their names, a picture of the rifle, name and make and model of the rifle, as well as the caliber shell that was shot, a map of the hunt, the coordinates, the date, just a lot of information here that you're not going to get with a taxidermied shoulder mount. I just think this is way cooler. Maybe I'm a little biased. If anybody's interested in getting something like this done, if you've got a deer hunter in your life, or if you are a deer hunter and you are like me and would prefer something like this over a taxidermied shoulder mount, my email address is hometownacres@outlook.com. Get a hold of me. We'll probably be busy come this fall, I would imagine. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, give me a big thumbs up, click that subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.